feel like I've come home, you know. This is where it started. This is where it started. You know, when I come to these things, I'm always worried about the mindset, the mentality, the heart. I don't need to worry about you guys. First of all, you're all crazy. There's no doubt about that. And you got to be crazy to build it. I couldn't help but overhear a couple people whispering about all the new people, about all the love in the room. Is this an act or is it for real? It's for real. It's the real deal. Well, look, you know, I don't have a lot of time. I never have enough time to say what I want to teach you. I'm never over, I'm never done, but there's always another one. So we just keep going. But I'd like to use the time today, hopefully, to give you some mental weapons. Mental weapons. You can go out there and whoop ass. Make it happen. Show people what it's about. Not be embarrassed. Not be ashamed. Be proud. Be successful. Show people how to make it work. That's what I want to do. I want you to be strong. And you know, I am so impressed with the dream boards. And for those of you that did not make one or don't understand, this is a major, major secret to being great. You see, the mind of man can conceive and believe whatever it conceives and believes it will achieve. But if you don't think of it, if you don't put it in your processor, if you don't put it in the brain, what do you think it's going to do? Just drop out of the sky one day when you wake up? You have to think it first. So going through this process, you are thanking God for the powerful brain and the ability to create that you've been given. You know, we were created in the image of God. What does that mean? We were given the ability to decide, to choose, to think. Not animals don't have that. And to create. And you can create your own world, your future. But it starts with this, so I hope that you do it. I'm very impressed. And I want to tell you that the Drayton tribe got it right. What it's all about is freedom, 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 freedom. That's what it's all about, freedom. I'm telling you. What does that mean? No, it doesn't mean yachts and Lambos and all that, even though we got them. That's not what it's about. It's about having the time and money to control your life and to do what you want. That's what it's about. Not to have to worry. It's about, and this is what the business was really all about. Every time we show the plan, I explain to people, you know, you're going to hear about a lot of products and an incredible company that, you know, was spawned and has grown into a billion-dollar company. But it's really not all about that. It's about residual income, a technology and a system and a company that was created to produce residual income for the average person. Now let's talk about that just for a second before I dive in and give you some mental weapons that you can use to make it happen. Residual income is at the top of the economic ladder. It's the grand prize in the economy. It's kind of like entrepreneurs or the alchemists of the economy. They create out of nothing opportunity. They create income and jobs. They make it happen without any net. It's the highest level in our economy and society, the high priest, and you're one of them. You're one of them. You're an entrepreneur. That sets you apart from everybody else because everybody else will exchange time for money. And unfortunately, they'll run out of time. And that limits the money they can make. But even if they made a lot of money, they don't have time. The magic is having both. And that's what our business is all about. Thank you. Thank you for believing. So I decided at 22 that I would not put time into anything that did not result in residual income. I took almost dying on a boat as a marine biologist for that wake-up call. But the bottom line is, why would you exchange time for money? So you put the time in once to develop, create, establish, make something, but get paid continuously forever, as long as it exists. That's the formula. That's what it's all about. You see, that's what I wanted. That's what Market America was created for. So, let me give you some examples so that it's clear to you. Because every time we show the plan, and I say this, the reason I'm showing it is to provide you the possibility of a residual income, which you cannot get anywhere else. You can do a lot of things, but it's usually reserved for the elite, the privileged, and never available to the average person. So you can write a play or a movie, and the creators, the producers, and the actors get royalties for years to come, for their lifetime. Isn't that true? Yeah. Okay. You can get into real estate and have office complex and apartment rentals and have an ongoing income, but it takes huge capital to do that, and the average person doesn't have it. True? They're not available. Parking lots. That's a good one. Build parking lots, and people have to, in the city, park all the time. I have several friends that do that. The smart thing about it is it produces a residual income, but again, you have to be tied in with the government to get the rights to do it, and et cetera, et cetera. A lot of things that make it a caste club where you have to be privileged to know the right people. Brands and clothing. If you have a major brand that's known around the world, or in clothing or sporting goods, you can get licensing fees. Okay? Music, publishing rights. Well, not so much the artists anymore. They have to keep going out and doing concerts, but the label gets the publishing rights, right? Franchising, because we're the unfranchised. But franchising, they pay a royalty for every franchise, and if you're a master franchiser or the owner of the franchise, you're getting royalties all the time on all those burgers or coffees, right? So anyway, I'm sitting around. After you make it to become affluent, and fortuitous, you hang out with other rich bastards. And because that's what you are to the rest of the world. They don't care that you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps and made it on your own. That doesn't count or matter. It's just the way it is. The only way to overcome it is to take the people who are criticizing you for having made it or being a rich bastard and make them one. The only way. Join the club. But at any rate, we got some great friends. Tommy Mottola, for instance, he used to be, took Sony worldwide. He's the hit maker, more hit artist than anybody else I know of. Jorge or George Perez, real estate developer, huge complexes and buildings in New York and Miami and around the world. And he told me it takes 5 years for him to make a hit, to develop that project. I said, well, how much you make? He said, the last one, $2 to $4 million. I said, wow, that's interesting, because then you got to do another one. You see, in my business, when I do that one, I get $2 to $4 million every year. That's the difference between you and me. P. Diddy, he says, well, JR, I got Ciroc. And he said, that was the best thing you ever did. I got Ciroc, and you're right, he gets royalties, on it. Tommy Hilfiger, he says, man, I got one of the hottest brands in the world, and I get licensing rights. So you got me on that one. Kanye West, well, he's off the chain. This guy, Lauren and I introduced Kim and him. But he is off the chain. The guy, he says, well, listen, I hate Nike, but I get royalties from Adidas. He does. Safford Hotel and Parking Lot Mongol, Scott Robbins, commercial real estate and parking. They all told me their story about what they got. Like we're always telling. When I brought it up, they told me what they had. And I said, you know what? You got me. And you're better than everybody else because we know that without residual income, you're just exchanging time for money. But let me tell you the difference. When you did it and got the royalties, only you got it. No one else gets any. And no one else was enriched or freed. But my business, my royalties and residual income is made by helping other people make a residual income and royalties. And we have thousands of them. Thousands of them. That's what we do. I'm all worked up here. So I want to see how far I can go on this slide presentation because I've been doing these sessions with both pioneers and new people to do it one more time. And if they haven't done it, if they haven't really done it yet, to say one more time, do it the first time and set the example for others to follow that it can be done fast and it can be done to last. And teaching them the keys that we built the business with in the beginning. It's been really an enriching experience, although it becomes overwhelming because once they get into it, it's kind of like they become your adopted children. You got to go through the process with them. And I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about what people are experiencing. And I'm amazed at what people don't know or have forgotten. So I want to go back to that, the central chord that makes the business work. And I want those of you that are very successful and been around for a while to think back to the time when you made it. When you made it, what I'm talking about was going on. Now, of course, the way the plan works, you earn the right to be in a situation where you can collect the royalties and not do it anymore unless your people start to not be as successful, and then you might want to go back to it. But nonetheless, the acknowledgement that I'm looking for is, yes, that was it. That was the thing that made it work. And for the rest of you, don't you want to know that secret? Because you're going to learn a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of knowledge. But this is the thing that made it happen. I ran up here when Silva was up here because I just wanted to make the point that from the very day one, the company, when it was founded, it was all about getting people to evaluate it and lead the people before we got them in. From day one. And it still is, and we're still doing it. Are you doing it? Oh, the silence. No, it's good to have that silence because gas, it's the thing, that does it. Now, what I want to do today in the hour and 15 minutes that I have left is I want to teach you how I build the business and the keys to becoming a hopeless success. But this presentation is up here, and it does two things. It gives you the script to what I say at the meeting, which is exactly the same every time. How I open the meeting and how I close the meeting to get them to take the next step to get some people to evaluate it. And not to make a decision and to make it work first so that they don't have to make a decision. And in that, it becomes a replicating, self-perpetuating thing like RNA or DNA that keeps it repeating with each person leading to new people to find the right people rather than it stopping. And in that is the real secret to how I built the business. So I want to teach you that. And I hope to give you an awakening of how to build the business the right way very quickly. It might be the beginning of a new journey. You might not get it all, but we're headed off in the right direction. Fair enough? Okay. So up here is the link that you can get this PowerPoint presentation to, which has a lot of lessons in it. It's divided into sections. I can't get to it all, but it's my stuff, you know? It's my brain, my heart, my wisdom, my soul, and so you can take it back and study it. So I'm going to teach you what I found to be the key to success in the business. The one key to success in the business of getting people to lead the people first. Think about it. Those of you that made it, somehow you found the right people. I bet you that you didn't know that person who really did it personally. Somebody led to somebody who led to somebody who led to somebody. And for those of you that don't have the people yet and you're trying to get them, stop trying to get them and learn this technique of getting people to lead to people, to lead to people, to lead to people, to find the person that qualifies and ends up doing it. And there's definitely a method to the madness. So I submit to you, if you discover and practice this one thing, it'll make a big difference. And then everything else will start to fall into place. So this is a business building training on the method that JR used to build the organization of UFOs that is currently what you see here today in market America around the world. This is it. A training on the essence of this is a no decision close. The evaluation approach, the follow-up and the trial run, and imprinting. See, the people that I did it with know no other way. So accidentally they become successful. And if you didn't imprint, you probably end up in the chicken coop. And not your fault. So this is actually about, and listen to this. You know, I'm looking at Ben Ginder. He probably doesn't even know what he did, but he did not recruit. He did not recruit. They recruited him. But this is about not recruiting. You need to take that word out of your vocabulary. No one wants to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited into the military, even though I would serve my country if called upon, and I have a lot of respect for them, but it took a huge sacrifice. I don't want to be recruited into a sales thing, and I don't want to recruit people into it. What I want to do is find people that have the dream, the passion, that want the freedom, and show them how to get it. That's what I want. So it's prospecting, qualifying, sponsoring, and building hopeless successes. That's an interesting term, isn't it? What I do is create hopeless successes. They're a hopeless success because they can't help the fact that they succeeded. They don't really know how it happened. They were hatched that way. And it just happens. So I'm going to show you how we create hopeless successes. It's not even up to them. It happens anyway. Do you like that? Okay. Okay. I call it relationship building. I call it possibilities. I'm looking for possibilities, people that possibly may know the right people, and qualifying them in order to sponsor them. Because it does no good to sponsor somebody that is not willing to do what's necessary or who can lead the people. Why would you want to sponsor anybody that doesn't fall in love with the product and want to lead the customers? Why would you want to sponsor somebody who doesn't lead to anybody? They don't make the team. Sorry, life is rough. Not everybody gets into Harvard. Not everybody makes the football team. Sorry, you're a wonderful person. I'll stay your friend. I'll love you for the rest of my life. You can hang out from time to time, but you can't play ball. That doesn't make anything bad about you. It's just that I am not going to put you on my first string. You getting this? Okay, I am nuts, no doubt about it. Okay, so I do these coaching, therapy, counseling sessions on U4. We kind of like open up their brain and, take it out and wash it out and put it back in. And it is therapy too, because I want to know what is preventing them from doing what we say is necessary. And there's no shame in it. Because anything that you're not doing, I'm not here to beat you up. I'm not here to make an example out of you, make you feel bad. I'm here to figure out why you're not doing it. Because there's a reason. Even as simple as being scared. You hear me? Look, here's what I know. I got to tell you this. Look at you. Look at you sitting in this hardback chair, driving 3 hours to be here, spending all this money to sit in that chair to learn something. You're different than 95% of the people in the world. You want to find a way. I'm telling you. I want to make that happen. I want to make that happen with you. You're what I dream of. A person that wants to make it. You understand what I'm talking about? I know all your friends and relatives think you're nuts. I want this to work for you so you can shove a check in their face. Look, I made it. I made it. That's what I want to do. And I know you are capable of it. You can't do something that you don't know how to do. So, I hear some people that have been around for a while say, well, it's not as easy as it used to be. It doesn't work as fast. Oh, yeah? Well, let's look at the difference of what they do today versus the past when they grew and hit their peak level. Let's just look at it. What's the difference? I think there's more difference there than there is in the opportunity, for sure. But the opportunity has only gotten exponentially better, easier. We had to used to add up our own volume and call everybody. You flushed at least once a month by accident. It was hard. Maybe that's the problem. We've given so much. We used to make more money when it was harder. People used to grow faster when it was harder. But now with the back office and unfranchised and all the reports and access, I mean, it's beyond what anybody else has. Maybe that's the problem. People spend so much time on that trying to figure out a way to milk or beat the system rather than just going out and building. Well, at any rate, yeah, I get riled up. Yeah. So at any rate, look, my problem, really I struggle with, is I know how to build this. And it's difficult to pass that on or transfer that to someone else without me doing it with them. If I do it with them, they imprint. They don't know any other way, and I just made it work. So that's what works. And it's very simple. Does everybody understand that? So it's really hard to show that to somebody and get them to take the steps to experience it, because the only learning is experiential learning. You can read, you can go to these seminars, you listen to tapes, but unless you experience it and do it and feel it, you don't really have it, you don't really get it. Does that make sense to you? So I'm trying to get people to do it and coach them through the things they experience. So it's a very close thing. But you see, my way is not the only way to build the business. There are other methodologies that may have some validity to them, or parts of them may be valid. All I know is the way I do it always works. It has always worked. Let me just give you I got into business when I was 20, 21, senior year in college, and set some records with a company for fast growth at my age. Okay? You want to know the company. It was a big A, but not Amazon. Okay? Well, back then there was only 5 companies out there. And it wasn't a company of the month or a week, okay? And a very successful person started a new one with a better marketing plan. So to me it was like I'm in the gas station business and I'm going to switch from Shell to BP, but still building the same business. Does that make sense? And I set some records with that company. The advantage was that it was a startup. So I got to see a company startup from the inside, and I was the lead guy that built it. It went to 60 million. I was the top pen level. So I did it again using exactly the same technique. Third time I did it, that founder was kind of like lived on the edge of the envelope and didn't care about the stability of the company and the long-term income. And that's where I got it from. I saw him one time, I said, Ken, I want to really thank you for one thing especially. You taught me what I don't want to be. And what I don't want to do. And then the 4th time was right here, from scratch. I didn't bring any big hitters. I didn't pay anybody to come with us. In fact, they were the ones that almost took us down. But I did it with people. The only one that got in that I knew was Rick Hannon. And he tracked me down. I didn't go to him because I didn't want to bring all of their problems. I learned a long time ago that when they come from another one, they all want to settle all their grievances and debts with each other, and I get stuck in the middle of it. Is this making sense to you? But the point is, 3 times. Now, look, there's other ways to do it. There's other people that are successful. I want to bet my life on it or do open heart surgery with them being the surgeon. Because they may have had a success, but can they do it every time? Now, the reason I say that is that some people who are successful are also lucky. Now, I'm not taking anything away from them. It's okay to be lucky. Some people should be lucky. You know, like the guy that gets in and sponsors 2 people who become field vice presidents on the left and the right and never has to do anything else. We hate him. That's a joke. Because it wasn't that easy for you, right? Okay, so look, how was it luck? Here's how it was luck. They had a power leg. They were in a power leg. and a bunch of us were building down it. So it was really strong. And you only need 2 in this, right? Just so happens that with all the excitement and all the stuff happening, they got 1 more. And that one took off without them, and they ended up with 2 and earning a lot of money. Hallelujah! Santa Claus is real. It worked. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know if they went to do it again, if they could repeat the result. I know I can repeat the result. Drop me in any town, give me 90 days, and I'll have a person on their way to professional. And within 6 months, close to director. Done it over and over and over again. So all I'm saying is, there's a lot of things that you'll learn, a lot of things you can do. I'm not trying to be, self-embellishing here. I'm just saying, I know this works every time. That's all. Okay, so, but don't tell me it's not as easy as it used to be. Maybe it's something that you're not doing that you were doing back then, because it's definitely easier, and it's definitely bigger, and it's definitely better, okay? So I have people do this health check. Now, if you want to take this, it's online, but you got it here, right here. You can give it to your group, or you can take it. The reason I do it is if I'm going to help you, I need to know your vital signs. It's like going to the doctor at a hospital. We need to know your blood pressure. We need to know your blood count. We need to know your pulse, your vital signs, and what's going on. Now, you may say, well, I don't have high blood pressure, but we take it and find that you do. The whole purpose is to do the right things to make you well and to make it work, because you want it to work, right? So don't take this as a type of scrutiny that's supposed to discredit you. It's not about that at all. It's about, for your own sake, well, I did it once and I made it, but I'm not doing it right now. Fine. Nothing wrong with that. That was the deal, right? Right? Okay, so nobody's here to make you feel awkward. But if you want to grow and you want to do it one more time for fun, do you remember how much fun we had? Oh, come on, guys. We had a blast. I mean, I admit we didn't know what we were doing half the time, but we had a lot of fun. And we discovered what we had to do, and we made it work. Why not one more time? When was the last time you called 2 people a week? And did you make a list of 100 and go through them? Because that's a basic requirement in the Getting Started Guide. If you don't call 2 people per week, what is your reason that you haven't? Too hard? Too scared? Lack confidence? Don't have time? Tell me the reason. Let me help you with it. Unless you don't want me to help you. Is this fair? So, have you asked your mentor, leader, senior partner to assist you in making calls? If you had assistance, would you make the calls? What was the last time you showed the plan? So there are all these types of little questions for me to discover what is happening so that we can move forward and make it happen. And hey, if you're not doing it, that explains why the result is there, and there's nothing wrong. But you know what worries me? Listen to this now. What I get worried about is a person who is doing it, who's trying, who's killing themselves, who's disciplined, who's foaming at the mouth, that wants it. They're a diamond in the rough, and they're not making it, and they don't have any help. They lack confidence. It's lonely out there, really, really, really lonely to do what I say and sit down with somebody at a coffee shop to have an overview, to see if they know the right people. When they're questioning you, it's hard. But to have somebody that's already made money doing it with them, or to have, a little team doing it together, makes all the difference in the world. So I work at that. So So, you can look at these things. You can take it out and answer them. They're just fundamental basic questions. Master UnFranchise Owner, why is that in there? Because that says that you yourself and you have so many people in the business that are open for business. Wouldn't you agree in any business you have to have certain things really to be open and to function and to do it? Huh? Well, I just know that people who don't have those things, it's going to be difficult for them to handle a lot of business. The store ain't open. They have no inventory. They have, none of the tools. It doesn't make them a bad person. It says, you're not open. That's why it's not happening. Your store is closed. It's okay. Okay, but that's the reality. I don't want people to blame their lack of triumph and success on the business. The business works when you know what to do and you work the business and you have what's necessary and use it. But if you don't, and you might not even know it, we got to address it, that's all. I'm a coach. I love the people I work with. I want them to I love them more than their own parents do. I'm telling you, I want them to make it so badly that I reek of it. So, I ask questions and I'm there to help. I don't want it to be taken the wrong way. You can see these things, right? Have you taken the Shopping Annuity Assessment? Let me clear up this shopping annuity crap once and for all. Okay, look, we have what nobody else has. Our MPCP has a tracking system and products and a method for retailing that you can make a lot of money. But then you have a base of unfranchised owners and customers that are all tied in together economically. And you have the ability for them to spend the rest of their money that they're spending somewhere else through the business and convert spending into earning. Is that a good idea? I would say it's revolutionary. Okay, so we have 6 things that no one else has. And I'm not going to harp on this today, so relax. You're not going to get a brain spanking for an hour and a half on the shopping annuity. Okay? But we have a monetized network of 160,000 UFOs and 6 million customers. Who else has that? Does Amazon? Name another one. They don't have it. Do you hear me? Don't shut your mind off right now. We have a universal shopping cart. There's only a few of them in the world where you can sell anything, collect the money, deliver the product, track everything. Amazon and us, or Shopify maybe, are the only 2 or 3 that are out there. It's very hard to do, nearly impossible. Not everybody can do it. We have one. We're a product broker. We've been a great product broker since the beginning. We know how to find products that people want and push them to the right price. A product broker, okay? You have to be able to supply people everything that they buy to do that, right? That's where we have a little screw up, and I'll talk about it. Thirdly, fourthly, fifthly, whatever it is, a financial vehicle. What good is it if people can't get paid? Right? How's Amazon going to pay people? How are these other outfits ever going to pay people? You know ours works, right? Okay. Assessment tool. People don't know where they spent their money, so they don't know what to do. You need an assessment tool to analyze that and identify it so that we can get the products. Okay, that's where we fall down. It's too hard to get them and find them, and there's not enough IBV to hit checks. Takes too long. I know all that. I thought it could be done through shop.com because we had 50 million products. Watch my lips. Watch the humility. I was wrong. You see, I can admit it. You can't admit anything. I was wrong. I got to find another way to do it. but it doesn't invalidate the power of the concept. You think Google overnight became what it is today, or did they have to change a lot of things to get there? It changed the world. A tracking system that organically tracks UFO to customer in a footprint that has no structure to it. It's organic and goes, like the movie example, wherever it goes, to be able to accumulate that volume so we can convert it into a check and residual income for them. So if it works for them and they tell other people about it and spreads, they will get credit for everybody that is spread to. Can Amazon do that? Can Shopify? Most direct sales and MLM companies can't even do it. But we are the champions. We are the champions of the world. We can do it. So, my point is this. I finally got IT and the entire company, internally, management, everything, to understand we are not going to beat Amazon. They have 5,000 search engineers alone, and they're in bed with Google, okay, on what's shown, with equity deals and whatnot. And they don't have to make any money because they do it all other people's money on the stock market. But I don't want to be Amazon. We don't need to be Amazon. We need to be the first shopping annuity. That's it. And I'm going to do it. Okay? And here's how we're going to do it. Here's how we're going to do it. I told you, Ben, I was wrong. Damn it. I wasted 5 years. Yeah. Here's how we're going to do it. We find out or know what everybody buys and needs. And that's where you need to verify. You need to verify because it's your business, your organization. And we're going to come out by convention, like you saw us do some in the beginning, just starting at World Conference, demonstrating that we can do it. We're going to come out with a top 50 to 100 necessity consumable products at lower prices, at 25 to 50% IBV. Some may be at 15 that everybody really wants, they can't do anything about. And it's going to be a no-brainer to do 10, 20, 30. We'll have bundles. And it'll be very easy to do the SAM and hit 300. And if you have people doing that group, you're going to hit checks. And when you hit checks, it's over. It's over. It's over. Give me a chance. Just give me a chance. Okay? Okay. When you see it, you'll believe it. Okay, so when I take somebody on the boat, if I was going to help you individually, and I'm trying to do it with as many people as I can and hoping that it'll spread. I mean, you know, there's people like Steve Harris who've been around for a while that have a really great residual income that may have been a little bit in glide mode, that come back to the table because it's time. He wants to have fun again. He wants to have a legacy. Elizabeth Weber, I built the business with her. I did not build it for her. She's back. She and me are partnering. We're 100% ovaries to the wall, and balls to the wall. I mean, we are smashing it, and it's growing, doing what I'm talking about. You watch. Don't get jealous when we do it and a lot of people succeed and you sat around. We're inviting you to get in on it. But at any rate, so I need a health check, a summary profile on activity and history from the company. I had that pulled from Andrew Weissman and the company. Why? I compare them. to see if they were lying. Or maybe they didn't know. But it's a reality check. And then I get a diagram of the organization and action plan. Where are we now and where do we want to go? And ask Steve. He's a very sarcastic, critical guy. He's not like a pushover. You can't influence him. You guys believe that? He's uninfluenceable. I mean, he put his together. I'm absolutely 100% it's going to happen over the next 2 years, and I'm all in with him. He's going to hit the next level. He's going to leave a legacy at 60, whatever. I know you're already jealous. Isn't that the way human nature is? Okay. But he came to the table first. So, diagram of organization and action plans so we know what to do, their why, and a goal statement. So these are like the vital signs. The goal statement I need so that we can translate what they want to go into what has to be done each month, each week, and each day, and then we do it. So let me tell you guys something. The amazing thing about the business is there's unlimited amount of it. I make millions per year on the marketing plan from my organizations. You're all under me somehow. I say that very humbly and thankfully, but I created this plan for me because nobody else would do it. Everything you see in that plan is so that I can make it work for us in the field, in the business. If you don't know this by now, I am not a CEO, I'm a UFO. But at any rate, the funny thing about the business is that it becomes what you see, think, believe, and do. It takes on the form of the vessel or the container that we pour it into. Market America is a concept, is a fluid, right? And it will fill the container, which is you, the UFO, okay, and take on its shape. Now a lot of you, and you know what this business is all about? Education, belief, loyalty, family, success. Some of us have a family in this business that's stronger than our blood family. So we beat each other up. We criticize each other. We talk behind each other's back. Oh, look at him. Here he goes again. Oh, come on, we do it up, but you know what? We hate to be without you. And we really do love each other. So put all that stuff aside. I tell people for years, this business is like, you ever see the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest? Huh? It attracts crazy people. And I'm Jack Nicholson and Lauren's Nurse Pritchett. I often say we run a zoo. It's like a zoo. It's all different types of animals and characters. Don't try to make the giraffe a lion. And don't try to make the lion an ape. They are what they are. There's something great about them. And that's why we got a great Noah's Ark. People are what they are. It still works. Let's not get hung up on the fact that they're not a monkey like you. I get worried when they're all chickens, though, right? Okay, so a lot of you got a lot of education. Wow. You could write a book. You could be a professor. You know so much. It's frightening. You're a nuclear physicist at this. I mean, you know so much. Now, you know what a BS degree is? BS? What bulls do in the field? You agree with that, right? And then, if you get an MS, I would assume that that's more of the same. And a PhD? Some of you got that in the business, no doubt about it. That's piled high and deep. Now, let me give you some advice. All of that is really great, but it's worthless unless you're doing the evaluation technique and have people leading to people and doing the no decision close and the ABC pattern to lead to new success stories and people making money. It's worthless. It has no effect. It means nothing. Talk all you want, teach all you want. It's bullshit. Until you're doing the evaluation technique and getting people to lead to people in the ABC pattern, then it becomes really valuable and applicable. So, wow, with some of these degrees out here and knowledge, what would happen if you had a group that was exploding? You had somebody to do it with. Okay, so some of you know it all. And I'm suggesting that we fill the reservoir or the water tower with the Market America liquid by getting people going again. And you might say, why are you saying that, JR? We have trying. We've been in the business and come to all the meetings for many years. Great. I respect that. I'm thankful for it. But I'm talking about you personally, not everybody else. You. Are you where you want to be? Are you frustrated? Would you like to grow again? How many people, I find people in people's groups where they think, they don't realize this is a diamond in the rough. This is what I always look for, this guy. He has no help. You don't even know that he's there. Some of them, are okay financially. Others are struggling. What they really want is it's a star that I look for. But you don't even know about it because you're getting $5,000 a month on that leg right now. But when I go up and analyze the leg, you have no idea. You're going to be in for a surprise. They're not going to last. And that leg is going to atrophy. And I can prove it to you. I can show it to you. But when you have somebody like that in there, you may want to get back in and do it with them because that's all they lack. A little confidence, a little teamwork, somebody with them. Because it's hard to do it alone, isn't it? Okay, well, I guess I'm preaching to the choir. But did I hit everything there? What, can I get that back? I don't know if I finished it or not. Well, that doesn't matter. Okay. So what this is about, okay, that's an important slide. Move it back. Move it back. Okay, so now, you got to keep bringing new people that want the dream into the business. Oh, you may be a field vice president and have 4 directors in a line. It still behooves you to do it, and I'll tell you why. It's fun! And there's no way not to do it. I can't help it. It's not about who am I going to sponsor, it's what am I going to do with these people? I mean, I go to the dentist's office. I'm getting these implants on. He said, what is a shopping annuity? He sees this. I said, it's a new technology and platform that tracks all your shopping so you can get converted to earnings. Oh, yeah, my wife talks a lot. I said, you mind asking me after you get your hand out my mouth? I mean, you can't. Everywhere we go, people get interested. Lauren just sponsored a flight attendant. We didn't try to get her interested. We're so effervescent, having fun, living the life, talking about dreams and business and things we're doing. They overhear and they nosy, ask questions. She speaks Mandarin. So, well, maybe you qualify a little more. She called up twice. They recruit us. They called up twice a day, wanting to know when we could get with her. Every month there's more. Just living it up, living life. Okay, so I don't recruit. I qualify. I qualify people, and they lead the people. They can't qualify without leading the people. Why? Why do they want somebody to play soccer that can't kick the ball? Why do they want someone to play basketball when they can't dribble or do a layup? That's the fundamental basic skill in the business. Maybe they don't have the personality for it. Okay? Sorry. Why would you want to sponsor them? I only have so much time, and it takes a lot of time. Are you hearing me? Now, I'm going to tell you how I feel about sponsoring. Prospecting, I don't recruit. Take that word out of your vocabulary. I don't recruit. But prospecting, I'm looking for possibilities. And I'm just having fun, you know? And when they start asking me questions, because they only talk about 3 things. Try this out. Go do an experiment. Do something different than what you do every day. Go out and just experiment. Get in a conversation with anybody, and for 2 minutes, they'll talk about what's happening. The weather, the news, you know, what they've been doing. And guaranteed 100% of the time, within 2 minutes, they will complain or wish. Now, you want to be a brilliant conversationalist? Okay? Don't tell them, oh, you'd be good at what I'm doing. Don't try to recruit them. Just say, really? Wow, they made you work 20 hours overtime 4 weeks in a row? Is that illegal? Oh, man, oh, my God. Did you ask anybody about it? Yeah, I went here, I got to put this in. Maybe you ought to look for something else. Yeah, but I'm at seniority. You know what I'm talking about? They just go on and on. And the more you ask and take an interest, the more they tell you. They're giving you all the information you need to show them the plan, why they should get in. And then they wish sometimes. Oh, I wish I could have a sailboat. Oh, sailboats. See, I got to tell you, I'm a yachter. We kind of feel like this about sailboats. When they pull into the marina, all the toilet paper's gone. I'm funny. I say funny things. I joke around. I don't get so serious. You follow me? I said, man, you know, what type of sailboat do you want? And the guy just goes on and on and on and on and on. And guess what? Listen, they love you. They love you. You know why? You listen. Their favorite topic is themselves. They're an expert at it. And they just think you're the coolest person. Man, that guy's a really cool guy, man. And I write their name down. I don't have to get them in. But when they start asking questions, I learn how to dance. You can follow or you can lead. You don't go for the jugular. You don't try to get them in. You don't wrestle them down to the floor. We're dancing. I'm an economic alchemist. What do you mean by that? I never heard of that. Well, you know, we have a new technology and platform where people can track their shopping, and we're able to take a piece of the margin and pay them all. Well, what's it called? It's called the shopping annuity. But we have something called the unfranchise, where it's like a franchise, but you don't have to pay the royalties and everything like that. You know, but you wouldn't be interested. You're too busy here at the store. They will come back for another dance if you dance well. Are you hearing me? Now, Ben, you used to do this as good as it's ever been done. You may not know it, but you are a great dancer. It's dancing. Are you getting this? So I'm allowed to dance with as many people as I like. So I dance a lot. Is this making any sense to you? But I'm not in a hurry. Now, sponsoring, see what I'm doing is I'm determining if they're a possibility to evaluate it because they may know the right people. And in that process, they'll qualify or not qualify. When I show the plan, I really dwell on the 2 to 3 year plan and residual income versus the alternative of working your whole life and ending up broke in the 45-year plan, and the statistics prove it. They have to really get that and acknowledge it. Don't candy coat it, because that's the close right there in the beginning. You get that? Okay, so if they qualify, we're going to do a trial run. I'm going to give them a tryout to see if they can play. And I'm going to do it with them. I'm going to give them a test. I'm going to help them make a list of people to evaluate, not to get them in, but to see if they know the right people. To see if we're going to get some people to evaluate it, not to get them in, but to see if they know the right people. In which case, it could mean some money to you. Okay, so if that happens and it repeats itself with their people, they qualify. They made the team. It's already working. There's no decision to make. It already worked. And I have somebody who's leading the people. I don't sign them up before that. Why? Because that is sponsoring. Sponsoring. I'm scared to death being the sponsor. You know why? It's like having a baby. When you sponsor somebody, it is totally analogous to having a baby. It's easier to conceive than it is to deliver, right, ladies? And it's a 9 months gestation period. I always laugh how ladies in the 8th month, 7th month, they can't wait to get it out. Boy, next month this time, I will be no more pregnant. And well, man, you're going to learn a lesson. Your problem just started. It just began. I don't want to have too many illegitimate children. You hearing me? I'll be honest with you. There's so many people trying to get in under us or want to see the plan or want us to talk with them. I'm not getting you pregnant. Because I'm telling you, once they are born, you cannot set them out on the doorstep. And expect them to be there a month from now. When you give birth to somebody in the business by sponsoring them, you got to nurture them. You got to feed them. You got to clean their poo-poo. Change their diaper. I had my first boy and got my first one in the face. Yeah. A lot of surprises. You got to rock them to sleep. You got to get them up. Then you spend 2 years, then they start crawling. And you ever notice they find every speck or dust of dirt on the floor and put it in their mouth? Right? You spend 2 years or 3 years getting them to talk, and then the next 20 getting them to shut up. Right? And then, then they start to walk. 3 years to get them to walk. And then they're into everything. You're trying to spend the next 20 years to get them to stay put. And then they go to school. And they come back with things that you know that didn't come from your house. Right? And then adolescence, teenagers, hormones. I don't believe that I made it. My poor parents, if they only knew what I did. But you are the parent. You got to protect them. This is when people get into other companies. They do stupid things. They blow their group out. They just do a lot of stupid things because they don't know any better. They're adolescents. They're teenagers. But you got to be there. And you better be there. And if you get through that all the way into the 20s, you may have an executive field vice president and $187 grand on that leg for life, if you get them there. But it ain't easy, and timing's everything. So look, if I have somebody that's begging me to see the plan or wants to see the plan, they're really sharp, I do want to show them the plan, but I don't want to ruin them. So I won't show it to them because I'm going to UK, or I have 4 seminars booked. I can't book the follow-up. And if I can book the follow-up and I can't spend a good month with them, and then over the next 6 months focus on them, I'm not going to sponsor them. Why? Because I don't want to ruin somebody that qualifies. That's it. And that's how I build it. That's my rule, and it's worked, you know. So I want to go through something that happened. So I'm at 25 minutes, right? That's the right time. Because it was an hour and something. Okay, great. You know, I just go as far as I can, and you got you can go see what the rest of the stuff was I was going to talk about, and then we'll get back together. Okay, so I want to go through a real fast thing of what in the business turns into the geese procession. Now, some of you have been stuck where you're at. You're not making a lot of money. You love the business. You love the company. You love the products. You keep doing it. And the problem is, it's not your fault. When you were hatched as a chicken. You can't fly. You only exist to lay eggs or to be eaten. And you're in the coop with a bunch of other chickens pecking each other. That's why they call it a pecking order. The chickens that peck the best are at the front, and the ones that get pecked on are at the back, eating last, etc. And then there's always the rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo! That's the guy that wants everybody to know that he's a leader, stake out his territory. And these are all my hens, and to keep the rats and the cats away, okay? But he ain't going nowhere either. We all have one of those in our group, don't we? You with me? You having fun? Okay, so let me run through this. This is a sprint. Okay, it starts out with the evaluation technique. You've been in a year or you're brand new. First step is 300 people. Let's look at the 100 ones that you are acquainted with that would know it's you if you called them up. And I'm going to show you what to do. And next year we're going to go through them. We're not going to try to get them in. You'll see what I mean. Okay, so it's no different than acting in a play, movie, TV. You have to know your lines. You have to practice. You have to be ready. Now, if you want to make $100,000 a year, and I'm giving you a shot, are you going to learn your lines? They're really easy. I'm going to even do it with you. But if you want to be good at this, you need to practice. Don't go into it without being ready. Is that too hard to do? Anybody have a problem with that? Can't do it? Okay, 2. This is not about getting people in. This is not about getting people in. It's about qualifying people so that I only have people come in that are going to make it work because they will lead to the right people first. And they have the right attitude, the right feel. Okay. So the question is, do they qualify? First thing I'm going to determine is, are they a possibility? In other words, are they the type of person that possibly might know the right people, that's kind of the type of person I like to work with? Does that make sense? Okay. Who do they know or influence? Okay. So we meet people daily, weekly, monthly in our routine. So do they. Everybody does. And out of that routine, there's people that we can identify to find out if they know the right people, not to get them in. So develop the possibility list. what is a possibility? Jot down their name, time, and location. I do this all the time. Bump into somebody in the lobby, has little kids. I say, hey, you live here? Yeah. So you got little kids our age. Where do they go to school? You know, so-and-so academy. Oh, wow, I heard that that's a pretty good school. We're thinking about changing ours. You need to talk to my wife sometime. Do you like it? Yeah. It's great. Okay, we need to, you know, kind of connect. I'd appreciate it and find out, you know, if that's better than what we're doing. I write it down. So what's your name? Sally Joe. Okay, Sally Joe. So next time, I know that was at 3 o'clock. She goes out at 3. I make a point to go back down there. There's Sally Joe. I don't say, hey, honey, how you doing? Hey, Sally Joe. I talked to my wife. She wants to know more. You get this? So every day I'm adding. Okay, so people's favorite topic is themselves. They talk about 3 things. If that comes up, I feed the complaint or the wish. I ask questions. I agree with them. I listen. I'm investigating, observing, evaluating them, qualifying them. I take notes. Then I got to learn the themes. The themes are what? The dance steps. So you need to get the themes out. They're in here, every one of them, and write down what your answer would be and practice on your senior partners or have a coring and go around the room and do them. This is football training. I'm a linebacker. I need to be able to move laterally. What's wrong with that? You want to make $100 grand or more per year? Okay. So I'm jokingly teasing them, taking it away. You probably don't have time. People love this because now they say, yeah, I do have time. You know, you're too busy. You're making all the money that you want. It's funny when they argue, I am not making all the money I want. Okay? You know, zinger one-liners. I'm an economic alchemist when they ask. I teach people how to develop a residual income. I have an application technology that tracks shopping and pays people on their footprint. Tell them about the movie example. Tell stories about people in the business, stories about how you got in. The L factor. Let me tell you about the L factor. You ever hear of it? You learned that today? See, I just picked one up. Okay. Okay, so these are tips. It's dancing, not tackling, not going after the juggler, not trying to take them to bed, you know, the dating thing, dancing. No, get that out of your mind. You're just dancing. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? Okay? So evaluation approach. Learn and practice the evaluation approach. It's the key. All I'm doing is asking them to do a favor. I'm going to give them a reason why I'm asking them to do it that makes sense to them, not me, to them. The type of person they are, where they live, the area, the type of work they do, the type of mind they have, very digitally oriented. You shop online, I'd like to see what you think of this type of thing. You follow me? But you give them a reason that makes sense to them. So when showing the plan or an overview, always tell them that they must see it 3 times. This is a rule, a law, absolute. You're out of bounds, out of the game. You know what I mean? Like you got boundaries in sports, rules. My rule. At the beginning of the meeting, I said, listen, put your wallet away and your apprehension away. You're going to see a revolutionary new concept today that I think is going to be as big as Google. It's going to hit the tipping point and change the paradigm in the world. Just like you have all information at your fingertips, this allows you to make money on all the money that you spend. We'll show you what it's about. But you have to see it 3 times. The first time that you see it, it's going to create more questions than it answers. Did you hear that? Now, Ben is at his second meeting, okay? And Arlene, this is her first meeting. Third meeting. So they've seen it a couple times. They're nodding. because they just experienced that. All of a sudden, it creates this feeling in the room, this guy's really telling the truth. I mean, he's honest. The second time that you see it, you will see things that you did not see the first time. She's agreeing. The feeling is good. I said, and the third time that you see it, if you're right for this, fireworks will go off in your head because you'll start to be seeing ways that it would work for you. And at that point, you still can't get in, but you qualify to test it out. Now listen, I have this down to a science. Been doing it for years. I know exactly what to do, but you don't know what to do, right? So I had to put the time in to make it work. And if you're cooperative, enthusiastic, and coachable, I'm willing to invest my time, take the risk of doing it with you, testing it out for 30 to 90 days. And what I mean by that is we're simply going to run it up the flagpole to see if some people salute it, to see if they know the right people. Because they may or may not be interested. It might not be their cup of tea. It might not be, but they might know the right people. That's the only objective. And I'm going to help you do that. Don't you show it. You'll mess it up. Right? And I'll even help you call them. Now, why would I help them call them? Because he's a pretty good person, influential, and he knows good people. And I know what friends do that are good people to good people. They give them a lot of shit. They give them a hard time. They ask a lot of hard questions. And that person is my person. My Ben Ginder, my Dennis Franks, my Elizabeth Weber. I'm not going to let them mess it up. I'm going to call them with them. They actually brought somebody that could be incredibly great to you that you didn't know and could not find. Holy moly gadoli. Whew. That's how, listen, I didn't know Elizabeth Weber. I didn't know Pam and Tony Bolin. I didn't know Dennis Franks. A pharmacist? No. A fraternity brother in real estate knew a pharmacist who knew a pharmacist who knew a hockey player, Dave Schultz, who knew Vince Papali, who put Dennis in front of me, and I went crazy. He said, I don't understand a thing you're saying. You don't have any products. I don't see how it can work, but you're so excited, I'm going to join you. True story. When I'm showing the plan and the evaluation approach for your people, okay, I tell them about the 3 times, and I get to the 2 to 3 year plan, and I make them sweat over it. Are you sure? Are you sure that you don't think that you can just make it in your job and get some increases and then maybe become a partner and make enough money to live comfortably the rest of your life? Because you're an expert at the 45-year plan. And we all know that after working for 45 years, somebody else may end up making money, but you end up broke. This is the way out on that. This is the alternative. Do you get it? I mean, does it make sense to you? I don't like try to just get it out of the way because it's everything. That's the difference between you and me. That's the difference between you and me. And it's a thinking. Okay. I'm just running out of time so fast. Okay. Evaluation approach, follow-up. I always book a follow-up in their location. Okay, people call me up, so I had a meeting, 8 people there. The mayor, a lawyer, so how many follow-ups do you get? Oh, well, the meeting ran over, and we decided we'd all get back together. Where we got all their numbers, we'll get back together with them. I said, that was a terrible meeting, and you failed. They will learn that 85, 90% of those people will not get back with them. They'll never find them again. And somebody will talk to them and blow them out. No, at any rate. When I'm doing this with you, you don't have any choice. It just works. You understand that? And you become a goose. Okay, so there's tips here. I really like it when somebody disqualifies themselves. Whoo, man, Yarly, I sure am glad that they showed me that they weren't the right person, so that I didn't have to waste time with them. Wow, that frees me up. I have other meetings to do. You get that? I'm actually glad about it. Okay, mental weapons. Be a warrior. Mental 2x4s. You know, what about Tiger Woods? Huh? Okay, so look, I'm not a golfer. It takes 5 hours to have an orgasm. It's way too long. You can practice and get worse. I'm a skier. I do other things. I'm a race car driver. I do other things that you can not stop doing, come back to, and still be good. But at any rate, what a story. Now, here's the thing about them. You got to have the right clubs and the right irons and pick the right ones, right? Right caddy. You agree with that, you golfers? But you got to have the swing. Now, what he did is what you need to do. That guy, when nobody was watching, nobody knew, wasn't telling people, re-engineered his swing and perfected it. True or false? You got to hand it to him. I don't care if you like him or not. A lot of people don't like you, but you might go field vice president. You see? He re-engineered his swing and won the Masters. What a story. So you need to re-engineer your swing. You got the clubs and you got the irons. I'm the caddy. I'll show you which one to use. So I got this problem with it. I'm going to have to jump to the thing, but let me just talk about this for a second. I don't know why people think that it's all about activation. This is all in here. There's a lot on it, and it really drives it home. The only reason activation's in the MPCP, there's only one reason. I mean, I don't know whoever told you that you sponsor 2 and stop, or you only need 2. You need 2 organizations of people making money. And anything else, you need 6 to 20. And franchising, and MLM, and networking, and direct sales, and insurance. But you can earn more than they can with 2 if you build the 2. And the fastest way to build the 2 is to do what you would do in the others, but not have everybody in competition, working down 2 lines, getting 100% credit for each other's effort without dilution, and all succeeding together much faster and making much more money. It's a miracle. They said it could never be done, where you have to work width for profitability and depth for security or stability, and they're antagonistic. They work against each other. A genius. I'm the genius. I had a lot of help doing it, but I was not let anybody tell me it was impossible. We did it. It works. And what are you doing? You're trying to turn it into something else. You're losing the power of it. The only reason 2 for activation, qualify, activate, the 5 steps is even in there, is so that when we build the 2 organizations as a team together, you are accumulating volume to get paid, because you have to have a multiplier in order for that to happen. It's a mathematical reason. There's also a legal reason. You can't be passive. You can't just sign up, and because you signed up, be getting credit for the power lag. You got to add something. You got to contribute, carry your own weight. But fundamentally, we know that 2 can be done at the same time, and 1 is already being driven for you. Where did you get the notion that you get 2? People call me up, JR, I activated. I said, oh no, it's over. That's like being in a race car driver, revving up the engine, popping the clutch at the starting line, and stalling out, you fool. Worst thing you could do, right? Huh? That's what you did. We just started. We're going to win the race. It was designed to do 8 or more per leg, which is what we do. You heard Steve Harris up here. I'm not trying to get him to do it again, but he said he did it in the beginning that way, and it carried him to an incredible income where he has residual income for 15 years. But he just didn't do 2. Are you hearing this? It's not hard to do 2. It's fun. I got to convince you of that. If you do it with me, you'll have a blast. We laugh, we joke around, we mess up their minds. I got it. Okay, give me the geese. There's all great stuff in here. After you go through this, I think you'll be totally convinced. Will you do it? Yes or no? You didn't do it before. You broke the agreement. You broke the covenant. Getting Started guy said, here's how the plan works, the unfranchised system, the plan. Here's what the deal is, and here's what your team will do, and here's what you have to do. You have to make a list of 100 and do 2 per week, just 2 evaluations. You don't need to get the meeting. You don't need to get them in. Just 2 calls with a reason that they should evaluate it because they might know the right people. 2 a week. How hard do you work? You go into work in public transit or fight the traffic, get beat up all day, blamed for everything that goes wrong, no credit for what goes right, fight your way home, and do it again day after day after day, going nowhere, and you love your job. You want to make 6 figures, and you can't even do 2 a week. Not 2 a day, 2 a whole week. Come on. You want to make 100 grand a year? That's where it starts. And you didn't do it. So now you know why it didn't work. Okay? Fair? Okay, that doesn't like ruin the future though. Okay, so I was a biologist. This is going to take 10 minutes, so I'll go 6 minutes over. When I was a biologist, you know, like when you study something and you like it and it's a discipline and you get educated, it never leaves you, right? You know, once an accountant, always accountant. Once a biologist, always a biologist. Once a scientist, always a scientist, scientific method. So at any rate, we learned something in biology. It's a very interesting developmental syndrome in fowl. And the way it works genetically, when they hatch, they have unfinished neural synapses and neurons that need to connect. And in them is, their brain is imprinted a image of what they do that causes the nerves to automatically do that over and over again. Okay? And it's in there so they survive, and you know, and that they can function. Does that make sense? So when they hatch, what they're going to be able to do is undetermined. It's determined by them copying the mother, and when they hatch the egg, they're right over them. So ocularly, all they can see is the mother. You understand this? So when a chicken is hatched, the mother's right over it. It usually has 6 eggs. So the other ones will be hatching right after. And they're all under, and the mother starts pecking. And that's what the chicks do. That's how they learn to eat. Then they learn how to follow her in no order, all disarray. Okay, and I could go on and on and on and on. So I did this at convention, and a lot of people got it. Now here's the odd thing about the business. It's the craziest thing. I've never been able to figure it out. It's like baffling, but it really explains almost everything, Ben, that happens. It's absolutely astonishing and 100% true, Arlene. I know that you'll know it. When somebody comes into the business and it gets started, 3 months down the road, you're trying to correct what we're doing because we did it wrong. You were busy, you tried to hurry it up, you took shortcuts, somebody else became involved, you were doing it with 2 groups, and it just was not done the right way, the way that I'm teaching you today. You hear me? So you go on and on about it. That's the wrong way. We cannot do it. We need to do it this way. And even though it makes perfect sense, and you drill them and teach them the ABC pattern, like you did a great job at that, they still go back to the way they were brought in. They can't help it. Ben, think about this. They always, you had Bob Sappord and A.L. Williams, and they taught the referral technique. It's basically what I'm doing here. And it imprints. But if you're brought in the wrong way to get people in, it's really hard to change. And I'm sorry, but you got hatched as a chicken. And you're in the coop with a lot of other chickens pecking away. Can't fly, no order, going nowhere. You're just there to be eaten or to lay eggs. And the rooster's crowing in the pen to keep the others away. True or false? Okay, so people always copy what they were brought in to do, even if it was the wrong way. And they're taught the correct way and know why it does not work. They still have the tendency to revert back automatically to how it was done with them in the beginning. Those that even though they know that it's done correctly, the way to do it correctly, they won't do it that way. It's just hard for them to change and do it that way. But now, ducks are different. They walk in formation, swim in formation. They have a different way of getting the food. They're not fighting. They each have their individual food. They have a language. They swim together, which creates the appearance of a bigger animal that protects them from predators. And they're able to fly 200, 300 miles to where the food goes to. Now, geese are very sophisticated and eloquent. They have a distinct formation, a binary formation, a V, for a reason. Okay? One is to stay together, not get attacked, and all to go to the food and then to the water. And when they swim, there's an aquadynamic current created, like in a boat, that allows them to swim further with less effort. Then the mother teaches them to fly in formation in a V, which gives them 70% more efficiency to fly much further and to be able to migrate 2,000 miles to the good weather, warm weather, and food. What do you think about that? And actually, mathematically and aerodynamically, the binary formation works better. Okay, so at any rate, here's what happens in
So when a chicken
with chickens
is born, it's in an egg. It comes out of the egg and it sees its mother so that it can imprint, and the mother bonds with it. So now the chicken gets up and it follows the mother chicken. You ever see chicks with the mother? They're all around her, and no formation, all confused, but
totally
all
disorganized,
right underneath
like
her, right? You ever seen this? The mother goes peck, 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 and they all copy it, right? So here's all the chickens in your coop. They all now know how to peck, but nobody's in any formation. It's all confusion.
Nobody working
There is
together.
no order. There is no formation.
No objective.
There is no organization. Sorry, that's how a lot of you came into the business.
Okay? Ducks. See if you get this.
Okay, now, ducks. So when I come out as a duck, there's the mother duck, and the mother duck goes like this. Quack, quack, quack. And that's how it learns to eat. And quack. They learn to follow the mother.
These are like your
So when the
stable
mother
groups.
goes,
They're doing okay,
they
but they can
follow.
do better.
In two lines. They follow the mother, down to the water. And she starts swimming. They copy the mother. Then they learn how to fly. They get in formation, and the mother goes like this. And they fly in formation. Those are your stable
Binary,
people
B.
that are trying to go now, that you can get going.
Next. Now, some of you are ducks. That's okay. It's really not that bad. But you want to be a director or field vice president. And that's where the geese come into the picture. You need to imprint as geese.
Now, geese are much more sophisticated. When they come out, they too eat. Honk! And when they walk in almost perfect V formation, binary. Honk! Then she teaches them to fly, and their wings are big. Then they take off. How did they learn to do it? The mother, and don't know any other way.
They don't know
how to
any
be a
other
chicken.
way.
They don't know how to be a duck. They only know how to stay in formation and to be eloquent.
Okay. So, the evaluation technique imprinted from the beginning after doing the process that they described the correct way. They chose a 2 to 3 year plan, right? There's no decision to make. You have to see it 3 times. In the 4th time or the 3rd time, you're going to start getting people to evaluate it. I'll do it with them. It's automatic. Are you getting this? Okay? So I have to give them a reason in this process that I want them to evaluate it so it makes sense to them. I haven't seen Ben in 2 years. And I'll call him up and say, hey, Ben, I need you I haven't talked to you for 2 years. You don't even remember who I am. But I need you to come over here so I can show you something so that I can get rich. It's about what some of you do. No, I have to give Ben a reason, not that makes sense to me, but that makes sense to him, that I'm asking him to evaluate it. That's all. Okay? So it might be their technology minding. You have an entrepreneurial mind. You're in an area that the company's looking to expand. You have good business mind. You're entrepreneurial. They know everyone and are a connector and a social butterfly. They're a relationship builder. They know all the shakers and movers. They're always looking to make extra money. They're an internet online shopper. I want to get a third-party opinion from someone who knows nothing about it to see how the average person responds. You can come up with a great one. Do you agree? Simply ask them to look at a new technology or new concept using the internet marketing to track what people buy and to convert spending into earning. If they, the person who evaluates it, knows and leads to the right person, it could mean some money to you. So just do me a favor and take a look at it and tell me what you think. Am I crazy, or does this make a lot of sense? And I may have ended up doing you a greater favor, because if it's what I think it is and you agree, you end up leading to somebody, it could mean an income to you. Is that hard to do? Can you do that? No, you can't do it if you don't practice or if you don't do it with somebody. You see? Just that one more step. So it's the opposite of recruiting and trying to get people in. Simply ask them to look at this new technology or new concept using the internet marketing to track what people buy and convert spending into earning. It could mean some money to you. It's just that simple. Can you do that? You didn't do it. Social media has proven beyond any reason of doubt, and I've done valuations on it in Wall Street and around the world, have proven that the average person knows 300 people. And out of that, you have 100 acquaintances, that are relatively warm, that know who you are, that you could call up and ask them to evaluate it. That was the deal, and you did not do it. What would happen if you and everybody in your group started doing that together? What would happen? You would have a geese formation flying and migrating, and you'd be honking. So I ran across this through a friend from Ocean City, Maryland, or Baltimore. It's an internet marketing platform allowing the average people to earn significant residual income online. The company needs somebody in the Baltimore area to get it off the ground. It already does billions of dollars in the U.S., Canada, and Asia, and thousands have made six figures, and hundreds have made millions. I have the connection. See, they don't believe that you could be bringing them a business or that you know what you're doing. But see if you agree with this. They do believe that you could have the connections. Internalize that. See? Yeah, my neighbors think I'm stupid too. They don't think I know anything. Oh, you're just an next door neighbor. I know you got a Rolls Royce and all this fancy stuff, but you're a show-off. I don't really like you anyway, but you don't know shit. Your friends the same way? They say that word too, don't they? Huh? Did I copy them correctly? Okay. They can explain, they can, I'm not going to be like Tony Robbins, though. That's where I cut it off. They can explain it. So I have the connections. They can explain it. You may or may not be interested, but you might know the right people, in which case it could mean some income to you for leading to them. It takes 30 minutes, an hour to see an overview. I sure would appreciate it if you would do it with me. What night's better for you, Wednesday or Friday? You get this? Okay, I got to end. It's the opposite of recruiting, okay? I also make an excuse for them, Arlene, I know you're so busy. Your kids are in school, your friends are all having problems, you have some medical conditions. I mean, you got your hands full. I really understand that. And I know that you have been successful in the past. I'd just like you to take a look at it. I don't think that you're going to be able to do it, but that's all. So I make the excuse for them. And what do they do mentally? They balance it. Oh, maybe I do have time. Maybe I can do it. you with me? But if you don't say that, they're going to say, I ain't got time. I'm too busy. Whatever. I'm an expert at this. I am a great goose. I lead many flocks. Okay? I'm teaching you how to do this. So if you do it, there's nothing you can do about being hatched as a chicken. But you are also a human mind that can reason. If you can discipline yourself to the point that you bring people in as a duck or a goose and hatch them with discipline and help as a duck or a goose, and it happens a few times, they don't know any different, and you hatch them so you become a goose. So, again, it's the opposite of recruiter. If that doesn't work, what I just showed you, and it's awkward, will you please be honest? Stop failing because you're afraid to talk to me or your great upline leader, senior partner. You feel awkward. You feel like, you have people that the senior partner or upline needs. They're actually their people too. I always tell people, funny thing about Ben Ginder, he's one of the best in the business. And guess what, Anthony? If you become involved in this, he is going to work for you. One of the best in the business. You know why? Because he can't make any more money without making you make it. You'll never find that situation again in your life. Is this making sense to you? So that's the reason you get those people and do it with your senior partner. Even if they're not that good at it, they're going to try to show off and be good at it. And doing it together, you have a much greater probability of it working than doing it alone. And your friends fight with you, but they don't fight with them because they're the expert from afar. So evaluation approach, rehearse. You got a role in a play. You're on TV. You're in the movie. Here's your lines. Practice. Do it together. Tag team if necessary. Well, one guy's talking, the other one's watching what they're saying. They throw you a curveball, the other one helps you out with it. It really works better, doesn't it, Yarley? See? The process used, the trial runs, the process used to see if someone is right for the business and if the business is right for them, through which they will lead to potential prospects and customers, or in the final process, disqualify themselves. Yay, don't have to waste my time with this one. But if they do qualify, I scored. I hate not scoring. I hate limbo. I hate in between. I scored. They're leading to people. So you didn't have to waste your time with them if they don't qualify. But when they do qualify, it becomes a self-perpetuating process. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I always get a director in every leg that I build. Every time. Why? Because the way I do it, they're leading to people before they get in. And it becomes self-perpetuating because they become geese. They know no other way, and they imprint, and they automatically are leading to people. So everybody's leading to people, leading to people, leading to people, leading to people. And it explodes. And I always end up with the right person because it's in the DNA or the code of the system. It works every time. Okay? We move from person to person, getting each person the opportunity to evaluate to see if they know the right people or if they have an interest themselves. If they choose a 2 to 3 year plan over the 45-year plan, they know some people that might be good at it, or that might know the right people, they qualify. Now it's worth my time to go through it with them. So at the end of every meeting, it's like a drill. I have my team trained. It's like a military drill. Attention! They know to pull out their calendar or their mobile, whatever, their smartphone, and turn to the person and ask them, what did you like most about it tonight? Did what JR was talking about, does it make sense to you? Then we should see it the second time so I can get your questions answered. And we can talk about how we might be able to do the evaluation approach. JR has picked me as one of his key people, his next star. So we will be doing it together, Ben. Okay. So at the end of the meeting, every time, remember at the beginning of the meeting I said you have to see it 3 times, right? At the end of the meeting, don't worry about understanding all this tonight. My goodness, you understood the whole thing. God bless you, the smartest people in the world. Now, I know we've been here for a long time, and the mind can only absorb what the rear end can endure, and we're about there. So buckle your seatbelts for coming in for a landing. But if you understood this whole thing, God bless you, you're the smartest person in the world. There's a lot of numbers, a lot of figures, a lot of terminology, a lot of diagrams. Geez, I created a thing I didn't figure it out in one night. So you got to see it again. But you chose the 2 to 3 year plan over the 45-year plan. And that means a lot to me. And because Ben thinks a lot of you, I'd like to consider you as one of the people that he partners with or does this. I don't know if it'll work out or not, but I'm willing to invest some time to test this out. You wouldn't want to do something that you don't like. You wouldn't want to do something that isn't comfortable for you. You already said that you wanted the 2 to 3 year plan, and $3,600 a week or $187,000 a year in residual income would be interesting. So we might as well find out. And I have a win-win situation where we can determine if it's going to work for you. Because over the next 90 days, I'll run it up the flagpole to some people. Don't you show it, you'll mess it up. I'll show it because I'll even help you call them. Because I know how to do this, I know what to say. And at the end of that period, if we have people, 2 to 4 people, clamoring to buy the product, and a few people that want to be entrepreneurs and try it out, well, the trial runs for them. It's already worked. You're already making money. There's nothing to decide. It worked. Unless, Ben, you want me to sponsor the people. But I know your mother didn't have a dumb kid. You know. That's what I do over and over and over again. There's a lot more. The scripts are in here. You can get the actual script of every word that I say and practice it. But, you know, and it recaps the steps, the exact steps in the trial run. I mean, you know, it's thorough. It's boot camp. It's a drill. You don't even need to go to a seminar to go through it. It's done. It's me talking to you. Do you get this? Unfortunately, I always take too long. I have so much in me to share with you. It is my fervent desire, my wish, my prayer that you would start again, do it one more time for fun, try the evaluation approach, admit that you didn't do 100. Even some of you making a couple $100,000 a year didn't go through the 100. Why not do it again and get some legs started? Here's why you do it. We had a lot of fun. We really did. I got pictures. Do it one more time. For you new people, don't bang your head against the wall. Don't be a chicken. Don't get caught in the coop. It's okay if you want to be a duck for a while, but if you really want to have fun, join me. Imprint as a goose. Become a goose. And we'll fly away together in the binary formation. I love you. I believe in you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I believe in you.